Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a set of really profound spiritual lessons that basically give us a fundamental choice, a choice that completely redefines how we experience reality itself. So, the source material we're looking at today kicks off with this really provocative question, one that challenges our most basic perceptions. Are you seeing the world as it really is? It suggests that what most of us call reality, well, it isn't real at all. The argument is that we're seeing a world we've built ourselves, and then, and this is the kicker, we completely forget that we're the ones who built it. So the idea here is that we live in one of two worlds, not physically, of course, but in our perception. On one side, you've got the ego's world. It's frantic, it's based on fear, and we make it all up. And on the other side, there's this peaceful, loving, inner reality that we can actually choose to access, like right now, in any moment. All right, let's dive into the first of these two worlds. You know, the one most of us basically call home. We're talking about the thought system of the ego. This whole reality is built on this one shaky idea, that we are fundamentally on our own. In this world, we are constantly trying to predict what's going to happen and control the outcomes, absolutely convinced that if we don't, the whole thing is just going to fall apart. The core belief here is that the only one who can save us is, well, us. And that right there is why there is always this constant underlying feeling of unease. And what's so fascinating about this is how it completely reframes anxiety. It's not some random affliction or a chemical thing. Nope. It's presented as the logical result of relying on a source of strength, our own ego, that is, let's be honest, inherently limited, frail, and just not up to the job of guaranteeing our safety. Of course we're anxious. So to cope in this world of fear, we put our faith in what the text calls insane symbols or idols. And you can see them all here. These are all the external things we think are going to protect us and keep us safe. Money, status, even just being liked by the right people. They're basically our stand-ins for a true, unwavering source of strength. So here's the crucial point. Fear isn't just some random emotion. It's actually a diagnostic tool. Think of it like a flashing red light on your mental dashboard, signaling that you've put all your trust in the ego's weakness, instead in a real source of strength. But, and this is a big but, the central message here is that we are not trapped in that house of fear. There is another way to see, another world we can experience. And this is the world of the light within. The material presents this incredibly powerful and unchanging alternative, one that exists not somewhere out there, but deep within our own minds. It describes a place of perfect peace, a place where we're told nothing is impossible. Now, when it says light, it's not talking about physical light or what you see with your actual eyes. It's talking about an inner vision, a true understanding that exists way beyond the world of our senses. It's a light that you find within, not without. This leads to a really radical idea, that our real thoughts, the ones about love and peace and connection, are eternally linked to their source, to this vast, peaceful intelligence. These thoughts are completely different from the frantic, disorganized, and cluttered thoughts that are the hallmark of the ego. And this just completely flips the script on what we think forgiveness is. The text says that a divine source doesn't forgive because it has never condemned anyone in the first place. So when we forgive, it's not about pardoning a sin. It's about us tapping into that divine love that has never, ever judged. So the big question is, how do we actually bridge these two worlds? How do we move from the ego's house of fear into that inner world of peace? Well, the key, the actual practice we're given, is a very specific form of forgiveness. So the process of forgiveness here isn't about just pardoning someone. It's really a practice of letting go of illusions. It starts when you first just acknowledge that negative reaction you're having. Then you search your mind for anyone you haven't forgiven. And here's the crucial third step. You have to realize that in judging them, you're only judging a projection of your own thoughts. And finally, you consciously release that illusion. That act is what returns your mind to peace, because in the end, you're only forgiving yourself. The choice is just so stark, isn't it? Fear condemns, and when it does, it binds us even tighter to the very illusions that are causing all our pain. But love, which is expressed through this kind of forgiveness, it just undoes what fear has made. It releases us from those illusions and brings our mind back to an awareness of peace. But, this process takes real discipline, because the ego does not go quietly. It sees this release not as a return to safety, but as a threat to its entire existence. It's like a descent into hell for the ego, and that's exactly why we feel such a strong internal resistance to these ideas. So ultimately, this entire spiritual journey, everything we've talked about, it all boils down to a single conscious choice that we have the power to make in every single moment of our lives. We can choose to place our faith in our own frail, ego-based strength, which, let's face it, is guaranteed to lead to fear, anxiety, and sorrow. Or we can choose to place our faith in an infinite inner strength that guarantees peace, safety, and confidence. The outcomes couldn't be more different. And the takeaway here is just so incredibly empowering. Peace isn't something you have to earn over a lifetime of struggle. It's not some distant reward for being good. It is available to you right now, this very second, the moment you are willing to shift where you place your trust. So as we wrap this up, this final question isn't just rhetorical. It's the fundamental choice presented by these lessons, one that you and I get to make with every single thought and every interaction, all day long. So where will you place your faith today? In the ego's weakness or in the incredible strength that lies within?